Hey, welcome to New Things, New Tech. YouTubers have different ways to make their videos. For today, here's a little behind the scenes of our studio that's being used for shooting shows, live streaming, and more. I'd walk you through some of the gear we use to make our shows. I've done a lot of professional work at TV stations and companies over the years and gathered a lot of consumer and semi-professional gear. Much of the pro gear I've had over the years is so outdated and unusable for professional work. The tech changes so fast that my wallet can't keep up with all the new gear we want to get. But you know what? Using what you have and creating great content should really not limit you by the quality of the gear you have. Now, I'm not saying that this is a great setup yet, but it's a really good start. Some of what I've done might be good in your video creations as well. We have a lot of monitors, different cameras, mix of lighting, a television switch, Ninja Blade used for recording and monitoring, a series of lavalier and miscellaneous mics, vocal mics, condenser mics, and a Tascam 4-channel audio recorder that I use for most of my audio recording. I have 3 teleprompters I created to use with this hodgepodge set of cameras. Normally I would use 1 or 2 of the best cameras to capture my A and B roll content and finish the edit in Premiere Pro. With all this gear, I could set it up for a multi-camera switching like I have now and can record all of this live on the Ninja Blade as well as in Open Broadcaster or other software for live streaming. Or record to each different camera and mix down, color grade, and edit and massage in Premiere Pro and After Effects, Blender, Photoshop, or whatever other software I can get my hands on. My goal is to create top-notch shows that both you and I will enjoy. Realistically, the bare minimum gear that you need for a decent YouTube video is 4 things. A decent camera, tripod, good lighting, and good audio. Well, besides the gear, you need to have some great content which will almost always outdo the gear you're using in the studio. We have a boatload of equipment that we really don't need, but comes in handy now and then. I'm just going to cover the basics here, and I have other videos that I'll be pushing out soon with in-depth use of some of this gear for you to watch. The primary camera I use for most of my footage is the Nikon D3300. It's a cheap, good DSLR with really clean HDMI 1060-80p 60 video. Put a good lens on this other than a kit lens and you'll find you can do very well. I use the Nikon D3300 primarily for all the medium and close-up shots. Next is the Sony NX30 prosumer camcorder. We use it primarily as the main wide central shooter as probably it's the most reliable. For its time, one of the best mid-level pro cameras that you can get for video. It's great for events, weddings, YouTube, or just about any all-around video shooting. It has great XLR audio inputs as well as a great shotgun mic on top for capturing great audio. For the third camera in our typical 3-camera shoot, we use the Sony HDR-CX405 HD, used when needed for second-person medium shots or overhead shooting. These are cheap little camcorders you can pick up for under $200. The downside is they can be really grainy in low light and just not that crisp. And then there's a few other miscellaneous cameras I can use if needed. The Canon T5, the Sony SR1, my iPhone XR, which I can actually get 4K video out of. Below the cameras are the tripods. This one is the Magnus VT4000 tripod. I picked up 3 of these at B&H Photo for around $129 each. These are nice mid-pro fluid head tripods with quick releases for easy setup and balance. In front of the cameras are the teleprompters, 1 for each camera, to ensure we're looking at the camera that's recording the current video. These are really simple and something you could build in an hour or 2. The main teleprompter feed computer sits on the show table here, with all the other monitors connected as the second monitor, fed via a VGA distribution box. The 3 cameras are tied together in the Blackmagic ATEM HD Studio switcher. This little video switcher can have up to 8 input devices ranging from cameras to computers to anything that can be fed via the SDI or HDMI connectors. The nice thing is that you could have someone in a different room or anywhere that can get to the network switching your video feed. It's also possible to use this for live streaming videos either with the Blackmagic streaming module or sending the program HDMI out of the switcher into a computer and streaming there with something like Open Broadcaster. The HDMI out of the switcher or directly from a camera, if not using the switcher, goes into the Atomos Ninja Blade video recorder. The Ninja Blade records directly to an SSD hard drive and can also be used as a camera monitor. Great for those cameras that don't have a flip-out screen. There's also a lot of cool features and benefits to using one of these, which I'll cover more in another video. For audio, I use the Tascam DR-60DMKII recorder. This thing is great for up to 4 channels of recording audio. The audio recordings are super clean and easy to sync up in editing. By connecting an output from the Tascam back to the camera or video recorder, you can get a reference audio as well as add a sync tone when you start recording. For mics, I primarily use the Movo LV402 XLR phantom-powered lavalier omnidirectional microphones. These are great cheap mics for about $35 each, plugged directly into the Tascam, Sony NX30 or VN extension cable to deliver good quality audio. You could use a desk mic setup like I've shown in my custom mic stand build video or other mic of your choice. But regardless, always use a mic close to your subject to get top-notch audio. Lights. What good is a video without some lighting? So in this studio I have a mix of par cans and low-cost clip-on scoops. Most of the bulbs in here are daylight 5K with the exception of the color splashes I'm using on some of the back scoops for a little mood lighting. I find that the daylight 5Ks give a better overall color. I have videos covering in-depth setup and use of most of the gear being shown in this video for you to review. If not posted already, then it will be posted soon, so stay tuned to this channel. So that's a basic view into our studio and some of my gear we use for shooting our shows. Ideally, I'd like to have all 4K matched cameras and video. Right now, the only 4K shooting I can do is on my iPhone XR. But to get a good dynamic range, bokeh, depth of field, I need to be shooting on something like a Panasonic GH5, a Panasonic Lumix X series, or the Sony A7, or other similar camera. But by playing games and creative shooting, I can make most of this cheap gear. But you know what? For your basic 1080p HD video shoots, this gear we have here is great for now, and I can slowly swap out the old gear for new as the channel grows. And I have some cash to buy some gear that we need to make the videos. Thanks for watching. I'm Scott Drudge for New Things, New Tech. All the normal stuff goes here. You hear about the time that goes here. Ask lots of questions, subscribe, leave comments, send money, lots of money, money good, money good. Buy more gear, need money, followers, need followers and feedback to let us know if you like what you see.